Welcome to the DIY Writer Show with the mild-mannered, slightly heroic host, Jeff Bacon.
This is Jeff Bacon with the DIY Writer Podcast, and today we have a writer extraordinaire. Her latest release, By the Skies. She's a fantasy fiction author, J E Mueller. J E Mueller, all the way from Illinois. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you, Jeff?
I'm doing all right. So just so everybody knows, we know each other in another group. And we will be talking about her popcorn problems, especially on Zoom calls where she doesn't share. But anyway.
Kind of hard through camera.
Yeah, well, there's
throw it at you.
UPS. You could. That'd be fun.
UPS, yeah. It'd get there probably in a day or two.
Yeah, a little planning would be nice because, those Zoom calls happen, with lots of planning. Anyway.
Totally. Tons of planning, all scheduled out. We're good.
Absolutely. So, By the Skies, you released that October 30th of 2020, the year of all years.
It was great. It was a birthday gift to myself, so.
Oh, was that your birthday?
It was.
Happy birthday. No, just kidding. I won't sing.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Well, what can you tell us about this wonderment?
It was a fun, chaotic story to write. Definitely high fantasy, wanted to do something in an academy setting and dragons.
Ooh.
Who doesn't love dragons?
I think they're tasty.
Well, none are eaten in this book, but if you want some hot dragons, they are tasty.
Yeah. So this is an Academy series or a standalone. I'm sorry.
Yep. Everything is basically main character is one of those rich kids, kind of not really Victorian, but that kind of time period vibes, sent away to boarding school because her parents don't want to deal with her, learning all the stuff to be elite, noble kid, and, getting into trouble. She doesn't want to do everything she's supposed to be doing. She rather, learn how to duel, learn all this dark magic.
Oh, a little bit of dark magic in there, huh?
A little bit.
So, one of the things I'm urban fantasy, so I really don't have to build anything. I've got my world already built and I just kind of sprinkle in some magic and, whatever. But one thing about your books, you build a pretty elaborate magic system usually. So
yeah,
how do you go about that?
Really depends what I'm feeling. I really like doing limited magic systems where not everyone can do everything.
Mm-hmm.
So for By the Skies, the main character, Korea, she is a healer. So she can only do things along the typical white magic spectrum. So I did a lot of research into what different games and books normally have for white magic. Teleporting, swapping injuries. That one's my favorite. I love swap injuries. Cast sunlight, banish darkness, and then try and develop these characters around, hey, you can do like 4 things. Mm-hmm. Good luck facing this guy.
Who can do everything.
Yeah. Well, so much fun.
It is.
Like, oh, look, this guy is trying to kidnap you. What are you going to do about it? Heal them?
Right. Swap. Cut yourself and put it on them. No, you can't do that, man.
Well, not unless you're injured.
True. The one thing that I'm really impressed with, you're one of the few authors who have taken advantage of the wonderments of 2020, and you've put out 4 books this year. Looks like it.
What did I do this year?
You did Of Beasts and Bells, Once Upon an Adventure. So you got
that anthology.
The anthology, and then you've got a Tale, Take 2, the in July of
I completely forgot about that one.
Holy cow, you're just so busy. You're just putting them books out in those stories?
Sadly, with COVID, my hours at work got reduced. So,
Mhm.
what you do when you're stuck at home? I have finished writing 11 stories
Oh,
and all different word count ranges. So, I finished up my fairy tale series, that Writers on the River anthology. I got a short story in, and yeah, By the Skies.
so do you have any other anthologies coming up, say, and be released around, I don't know, December 1st or so?
You know, there might be one. It might be a little dark, a little villainous.
Really? What's the name of that one?
Something with shadows.
Something
Have,
with
have you
shadow.
heard of it?
I've seen some various advertisements about it, but some pretty big names and then some little small people in there too, like me. But what was the name of that again?
Was it Into the Shadows?
Into the Shadows. Maybe that was it. Yeah.
There's like 82 million authors in there or something.
23, I think. 22, 23, something like that.
Somewhere in the 20s. It's pretty
Somewhere in the 20s.
impressive.
It really
Got
is.
some good names in there.
Did you see the page count on that?
The print page count was like 700 something.
700.
Like, I'm actually really excited to see this thing in print. I just want a copy.
I
Just
do
like
too.
as a doorstep or something. Oh, it's gonna be great. So
Hopefully it's a little 5x8, pocket.
oh gosh.
Yeah, so it's 3 inches thick and big print. So it's
Yeah, so that anthology is going to be really exciting. I normally write more happily ever after stuff. Of course, bad things happen throughout the books, but my little piece was just focused on a villain, and actually one from my first series. So that was fun to revisit.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So how'd you come up with your story? Did you just kind of backfill a villain's backstory and create the short story from that? Is that what you did?
Yeah, so my first series, A Tune of Demons Fire Song. So there's a mad king in there who kind of kickstarts everything, the curse with the main character. And I thought it'd be fun to, what happens when everybody kills him? Because we know through that series, minor spoiler, he becomes a demon.
Yeah.
So it's like, how did he go from being dead to a demon? It was fun to write. Because he's not a good guy to begin with, and then he ends up with demon powers, so he's really not a good guy.
What I thought was funny about the anthology, and I completely agree with it, so I'm not gonna, I'm not making fun of it, but I thought it was funny how they started the book with lighter stories, and then everybody in the back of the bus are really dark.
Yeah, I'm
Anchored by
towards
Angel
the front, like entry number 7.
I think I'm third or fourth from the back, so
I've been out of like 22. So.
yeah. So, yeah.
I'm not hugely dark. It's not my style. I have fun.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just throw someone in a pit of lava. Who doesn't like that sort of thing?
Pits of lava. That's awesome.
I mean, yeah,
that
it's
kind
fun.
of stuff. Sure. I mean, that's nice for a lovely Sunday afternoon, but I like a little bit of skin peeling and stuff. But I did, all by accident, make sure that there was a dragon being eaten by zombies at the end of mine. But
a dragon being eaten by zombies.
Yeah.
How does the dragon not destroy all the zombies first?
Well, you see, the dragon was a part of an assault on a group of people that on the villain actually, and while they're celebrating the wind, the second force of these undead folks come up and jump on the dragon. The dragon takes off, but it's got 12 or 13 of these just nasty little undead things.
All it takes is one good bite.
Yeah, and they just start digging into the dragon and eating it in flight. So
yeah, that's not going to be good for that universe.
No, it's not. I'm waiting for some hate mail from Eileen, but It's like, oh, I didn't think about it until after they had that Dragon Week in the IFA group and the Indie Fantasy Addicts group and Dragon Riders. And I'm like, oh God, both her and Allegra, they're going to kill me.
These things happen.
Yeah, they're going to write a character called Jeff in their books and have him die by the hands of some, like 6 or 7 dragons. I don't know what they're going to do, but like I said.
It'll be worth seeing.
Oh, really? That's very kind of you. Thank you.
I'll just grab more popcorn. It'll be
just
good.
grab more popcorn, yeah. So the backstory on the whole popcorn thing is that we're on a Zoom call and we may or may not have been drinking. And Jessica has a bag of popcorn. I called her out for eating popcorn. I was very, very unhappy that I didn't have popcorn. But she wouldn't share.
I don't remember what we were even talking about, but someone was going on a tangent about something. I'm like, you know what? I'm hungry. So I got up and I walked away for like 5 minutes and come back with this bag of popcorn. I'm sitting there eating it, listening to everyone chat and go on. And I'm halfway through when you finally notice, like, wait. Because, of course, there's all these tiny icons on the screen. Everyone's talking at once. Like, you have popcorn. And everyone's like, who? Where? Which one?
Who, me?
Like, yep, that's me.
Did you bring enough for everyone? No. All right.
Really get shoved through the camera very well. Sorry, it's all mine. Good times.
Still actually hurt. Therapy's been expensive for that one, but... So you're one of these game players. You like all the realistic games and role-playing games and stuff like that, from what I understand. Is that correct?
Yeah. If you call Skyrim realistic.
I have no idea.
Close enough.
I don't play games. I play Monopoly.
I hate Monopoly.
Oh!
I can't stand that one. Clue. I love Clue.
It's got to be Monopoly. It's got to be, 6 hours of just decimating somebody, driving him into the poorhouse.
Murder among friends is way more fun.
You know what? Yeah, it is. But my kids and I have tried to sit down and play Monopoly, and I think it's after hour 2 because you can go around that damn board and collect $200, and you just can't wipe each other out. And it's like, no, we have to keep playing. It's like a painful game of chess, and once you get through the card decks a couple of times, it's like, God, can we just quit? And it's like, of course, me being me, I'm always the gracious, one in these types of things. I'm like, if you quit, you lose. I get all your money. But it's hard making 8-year-olds cry, but
Nah, can't play Monopoly. I can play so many other games, but I like the faster paced ones like Spoons.
Yeah, that one's riveting.
Fast, fun, slightly violent.
Slightly violent. I guess it depends on how you play Spoons then, huh?
If someone's not getting injured, you're not playing it right.
Oh. Do you want to give us a demonstration?
I actually have a really funny memory from decades ago, back when we graduated high school. A friend had a big Spoons match. Yeah. And someone was fighting over the last spoon so hard that their belt loop got hooked to the table they were on and they fell out of their pants. It was so funny. Like, they clunked to the ground. They still had the spoon in their hand wrestling it. Oh.
So was there alcohol involved in that Spoons game?
There was not.
That's even worse.
It was really funny. Years later, when that stuff was actually involved, you're just laughing so hard you eventually relinquish hold of the spoon anyway.
Right. That's funny. So, do you play any of these role-playing games?
Not so much recently. We used to do a lot of D&D when we could meet up in person, but yeah. Trying to play online's a little harder.
I've seen people trying to do that through like Zoom calls and
Zoom and Roll20 and things like that.
yeah, and I don't. It isn't the same atmosphere, I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a whole bunch of online type places where you can actually set up your boards and your storylines and everything else, and supposedly that's supposed to be good, but I haven't done any. I barely play D&D. I played it once just so I could understand what people are talking about.
Oh, I've played a lot of D&D and Pathfinder and Vampire and Hunter and Shadowrun.
Everybody tells me you can get a lot of good story ideas from these games.
Oh, you can.
You know, just how they roll out and everything. It's like, ooh, I could have done this, or that's a great premise to whatever. But the one that I wanted to ask you about is Fat Princess. What the hell is that?
Oh, so that's an old, I believe, PlayStation game, and it's a simple tower defense game. So you're trying to rescue your princess from the other team because the other team has stolen them to make them eat cake. So the other team steals the princess because they want to have the most pretty princess of the kingdom. So by giving your princess cake, they're not going to be pretty anymore, but spoiler, end of the game, the prince does not care. He's like, but cake is so good. We should all eat it.
Wow.
It is the weirdest tower defense game ever. I loved it. I played through it so many times.
Really?
It is just so dumb.
My life is so incomplete for not ever seeing that. You know,
Yeah, it is hilarious.
Skyrim and, Madness Returns, and I'm taking this from your author bio, but Fat Princess, I'm like, I'm not even going to Google that. I'm just going to ask.
It's weird. It's hilarious. Just simple tower defense. It just really hilarious.
Steal a princess, make her eat cake. All right. Yeah,
that sums it up.
Yeah. I've got a story idea on that already. Just let me write that down. Fat.
Get a little Marie Antoinette on your characters.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, let
Not
them
to lose your head over.
I always get a kick out of that story it always reminds when somebody says, let them eat cake, that story. Are you familiar with that, with Marie Antoinette?
Mm-hmm.
We're out of bread. Well, let them eat cake then. Oh yeah, that'll work, idiot.
Yeah, she wasn't meant for the throne. They never really taught her because they never thought she would get that far, and she did. And I forget her husband's name. He was also like 5th or 6th in line, so no one thought he would either. And
yeah,
it was a disaster.
They did a stellar job. It's not many times in history where you piss somebody off so bad that they just chop your head off.
Yeah.
I don't even want to hear you talk anymore. Just bring that back to politics. I bet you it cleans up fast. Oh, there's corruption. Yeah. Anyway, I always get a kick out of the witch trials.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna dunk you in water and hold you in there. If you drown, congratulations, you're not a witch. Yeah.
Oh, very Monty Python.
Kind of.
Turned me into a newt. She must be a witch.
A Monty Python fan, huh?
Oh, yeah. I grew up on that.
Oh, okay.
That might be where some of the puns from my stories come from.
Yeah, they're pretty talented. Just kind of curious, can you recite the Lumberjack song for me?
I might be able to recite parts of it because, he's a lumberjack and he don't care. But I definitely don't know it all offhand.
For all you kids out there in YouTube, Monty Python Lumberjack song, you need to watch it at least once in your life. You're really not complete.
It's really worth it, and you'll have it stuck in your head just for, a couple hours. No big deal.
Years, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it never goes away.
Never goes away. It doesn't. It is like a scarring type thing.
Just like your old papa.
I dress like a woman all day. I can't. I don't know. I can't. It's been so long since I've actually sung it, but
Yeah.
anyway, I'm gonna get you to sing yet on this podcast.
I don't think anyone wants to hear that.
No, everybody wants to hear it. That's no.
I don't want to hear that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll get you a bag of popcorn and see where you're at in a couple hours. No.
Oh,
So what else you got going on? What's coming up besides this wonderful anthology from the Shadows that everybody should buy for free?
it's going to be amazing. You got to take a look, especially for that price tag.
For the price tag, yeah.
Free.
It's a beautiful idea. Hey, let's all get together, and we have so many cool readers in this group. Let's do a Christmas present to them, and which is a wonderful idea.
And how can you go wrong with villains for Christmas?
Right?
Perfect present.
Absolutely.
Not a letdown at all.
Well, everybody gets so sick of Hallmark that a good villain story can just really set the mood.
I think so. You got to have balance.
Yeah, well, it's to counteract all the stupid Krampus stories that come out right about now. I mean, I think
I hadn't noticed.
I think, for God's sake, you guys can stop and go on to another one. But I don't know. I wrote a story. God, was it last year or 2 years ago? On Gira and the 13 Yule lads, and everybody's like, "Where'd you get that idea?" It's like it's folks. It's a folk type thing from Scandinavia.
There are so many folk stories out there that go under the radar.
Yeah, and it's just like I didn't make it up. I just kind of rewrote it and put it into an urban setting. Hence, urban fantasy.
To rewrite things.
Yeah, why not just?
It's fun. Put a new spin.
Take the horses out and put a Buick in. It's urban fantasy. But
all you gotta do, have some shiny ribbons. You're set.
Absolutely, and some glitter. I'm stuck on.
Doesn't love glitter.
Oh, you know what? Me. I don't like glitter at all.
Lies.
No, not really. Nope. Can honestly say. In a podcast earlier today, I was making fun of glittery, sparkly vampires.
I love that trash.
Really? Are you a Twilight fan?
So maybe.
Oh no, there's no maybe. There is
definitely not quality. It's definitely not good for readers to be huge in, and I may have a signed copy of the third book.
Oh, wow.
It was high school. What can I say? 2007, that was way different.
That was way different, yeah.
I may have a copy of Midnight Sun, though, so I can't say too much.
Boy.
It's exactly the trash you would expect, and I greatly enjoyed it.
I was actually expecting you to tell me, no, I hate that stuff. But okay, now we're diving into the psyche of J E Mueller here. Twilight fan, huh? So what team were you on? Team Jacob?
Oh, Edward, of course.
Team Edward. Okay, so you do like the sparkly vampires.
Team Jacob would have been way better if it was approached from the right angle, but instead it was just hey, you should like me instead. No real reason why. And it's okay, yeah, no, we're staying on this side. Sorry.
Wow. Well, Edward was kind of a douche.
They kind of all are. Really? Alice is really my favorite character.
All right, I'll give you Alice. Alice
She's really awesome. I actually named my first car after her.
Okay. Do tell. What kind of a car was that?
Well, the whole point was it was yellow. And that's the one kind of car Alice requests was, I forget the make and model, and she's like, yellow. It has to be yellow. So my wonderfully obnoxious car was yellow, so it became Alice.
And what kind of a car did you drive?
Chevy Cavalier.
Oh, and it was yellow.
Mm-hmm. Bright yellow.
Wonderful.
Old, beat up, crank windows and all.
Ooh, fancy.
But it was yellow, so it got named Alice.
Well, so you had, I mean, you had like almost a new car when you were in high school. Did it still have the window crank on it? Oh, you're so lucky.
Crank windows. Actually, the first car I had, the family car, was named Napoleon. It was a Corsica.
Oh.
And Napoleon's Corsican, so.
Oh, I was waiting for a Napoleon Dynamite type reference or something.
Nope,
like
I
that.
could not get into that movie.
Really?
Just could not. I saw the beginning like 3 times and never could get past it.
So Monty Python, but hate Napoleon Dynamite.
Just couldn't get into it.
You are a lady of contradictions.
I am.
Yeah.
Gotta
and
keep
very
things
honest and upfront
interesting.
about it. Yes, that's awesome.
That's fine, because you know what? I'm a lumberjack and I don't care.
I work all day. Yeah, have long hair. I don't know, whatever it is.
Something like that.
Something like that. I dress in women's clothes and my dear old dad. Anyway, nobody is here to listen to me sing, so everybody's now shut the podcast off and is probably looking at it going, Jesus Christ, why did I listen to this? Well, you know what, kids, we're going to get right back into the books here in just a second. How many books do you have out?
I have 8. 4, 5, 6, yep, 8 of my own out. There was one anthology I was published in. They did a short run of that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be that new anthology I'll be in.
From the Shadows.
It's going to be amazing.
And if you're not a part of Indie Fantasy Addicts and Facebook, do it now.
It's fun, easy. Just search Indie Fantasy Addicts.
Yeah.
Who's not a fantasy addict?
I mean, absolutely nobody. But so I'm kind of looking at your website here a little bit there, and I see Red Destin's going to be releasing in the following year in 2022. Is that what?
Yeah, there's
Are you
a
just going to skip 21 or what?
No, there's a 21 up there.
Is there? Oh,
Yeah.
Unkindness of Angels in the Journey series. So the Journey series, I'm sorry, I missed that.
Testing your observation skills today.
Yeah, well, you know, it's kind of I just went to Red Destin's line. That sounds really cool. But you know,
That one is going to be a dark Little Red Riding Hood retelling. So I have the first draft done.
Ooh.
It's really rough. So it's just kind of been shoved aside and I'll revise it later. But everything up there, I actually have finished the first draft of.
Cool. So the Journey series, you got 3 books in there, all coming out next year. Magic's Pawn,
That's
Magic's
the plan.
Magic's Queen, and then An Unkindness of Angels. I write about angels. Tell me about it.
So that one is not going to be what you're thinking. It's actually a modernized Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, really?
With everyone has some sort of magical thing going on. Either they have like wings or shapeshifters or something like that. So the main characters have basically angel wings and stuff. So Pride and Prejudice, monster slaying with wings, college setting.
Ooh, college setting.
Oh, I had so much fun with that mess.
Yeah.
Especially, are you familiar with the books?
Am I familiar with your books? I've read
Pride and Prejudice.
Yes, I am.
So it was a lot of fun trying to modernize it, trying to figure out a good scandal for Lydia, since, you know, back then running off and eloping was huge and horrible. And now most people are like, Yeah, they eloped.
Yeah.
I was a little young for that, so I had to find a way to kick it up to the right notch.
How did you do that, or is that telling too much?
That might be telling too much.
It might be telling too much. Okay.
That's a fun plot point, but
Yeah.
putting it in a modern college setting, having them do fraternities, sororities that have all sorts of different magical themes, like monster slaying, was fun.
Mm-hmm. See, I've always wanted to find a fairy tale and rewrite it in modern times.
Oh, it's so much fun. You should do it.
And the problem is that um I write dark. I write.
So, Grimm Brothers.
Yeah, I get that. But the problem that I run into is that so many of them have already been redone in that fashion.
So,
I know, but
come on, live a little, have some fun.
oh, I have plenty of fun.
Like 16 versions of Cinderella.
Yeah,
Probably this year alone.
Well, it's funny when oh God, who was I talking to? We're talking about the Little Mermaid, and in
I really want to retell that one too.
I would, but my children would kill me.
Oh, that's such a fun one that could be dark so easily.
Well, the original one is dark.
Mm-hmm. It depends on which version of the original one too.
Anderson's is where the Little Mermaid dies.
Yeah, that one's a good one, and the one where the Little Mermaid has to go kill the prince.
Hey, that clicking's back.
Mm-hmm. Clicking?
Yeah, I hear a clicking feedback. Feedback. No, something's vibrating on your side. I'm hearing it through my speakers. I shut my microphone off, so it's you. It's all you. That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Click, click, click. Pay attention to me.
Somebody look at me. I'm eating popcorn. So when you write, are you like one of those plotter type people, or you pantser? Just let it fly?
Yep. Like if I get stuck, I'll plot a little bit to get around that wall, and then I just zoom head first into the next wall.
Yeah.
I just like going all at it. It's like, you know what? It would be fun if, and just seeing where it takes me.
I've decided I really like paint and I really like corners. And, to go ahead and stick myself in a corner is just my life.
Yeah, it's fun seeing where it all can go.
Yeah, the thing that I really think is, and I get it, when you outline, you can do something way fast. I mean, you can write a book way faster if you have everything perfectly outlined and you just fill it in, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that. But on the other hand, I think pantsers come up with, they cause so many damn problems for themselves. And then they have to figure out how to get out of them. And I think you kind of have to kick up your creativity and say, okay, how does my main character not die here so I can have a chapter 10?
Yeah, basically. That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I can't do outlining. I get bored because it feels completed. So I just gotta pants. Gotta see where it goes. Gotta have fun. Hope they survive.
The IT guy in me.
That must be hard because you really got to plan for IT.
Right. I want to plan everything. And then the writer side of me, I don't know, they're like two separate personas, or as everybody clinically says, schizophrenia, but multiple personality disorders or whatever. I really try and start with an outline. And then by the time I get done, that outline's a way different book than what I wrote,
yeah,
which is really kind of odd. But
as an IT guy, do you take some of the IT stuff over to your writing side? Like, do you do that rubber duck debugging with your novels?
No.
I got a rubber duck.
Oh.
He's a Skyrim duck.
Jeez. On a tangent. I've got a coffee cup that you probably can't read.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
I considered getting that one.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, that one's hilarious.
Just in case you can't read it, I'll read it to you, reader or listeners. It's a creative writer naming convention. 1, project draft doc. 2, project draft 2 doc. 3, project final doc. 4, project final 2 doc. 5, project final doc. 6, project seriously the last fucking version I swear doc. Version 7, I hate my life doc. Version 8, I hate my life final doc. But in there,
so funny story with the anthology. Who was it? Bethany, who was collecting it all.
Yeah.
I sent her the wrong doc because I do that naming process. So it goes like project name 2, project name alpha, project name beta, project name editor final, project name final.
Mm-hmm.
So she got one of the editor drafts that still had the editor marks on it. And she's like, so I think you sent me the wrong one. And I'm like, yep, I did. Let me get you the, not editor, but editor final.
Well, Bethany's going to be on this show in a couple of weeks to kind of kick off the whole anthology thing. And it's going to be funny because I'm going to ask her some questions. So what do you think of this process? So did this drive you absolutely nuts? Because, you know, and just kind of
author sent you the wrong documents.
You know, that will be a question I might ask her.
Was it just me? It might have just been me. It happens.
It happens. It does happen. I don't know how many. Actually, I do know how many times, but I'm not going to say it. That I format my own stuff using Vellum.
Yeah, I just started doing that this year as well.
Isn't that awesome?
It's so nice.
You
Wish
know,
it had a few more options, but overall it's really nice.
Like what?
The front page, like it just gives you like these tiny text with the book name and stuff, and I just want it to be a little fancier, not just plain.
You could change that.
Not by much.
You know what? I thought you could, but
you can change it a little, but not as much as I wanted it to be.
I'll have to ask. I've got a guy that works there that I talk to every now and then. I met at a conference.
Fancy connections.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that fancy or not. He'll answer me like in 15 days and say, yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, I probably won't ever see it, but I don't know. I love the fact that you can go in and just change stuff and republish really, really quick.
Yeah, like that.
You don't have to pay, your formatter to reformat your entire book.
Yeah, I did that for a couple of books. Finally had to switch over.
Because they'll kill you in cost, but
it's sadly true, and formatters do such a wonderful job.
They do, but on the other hand, I don't know what you're paying. I was paying $900 for the first format.
What?
And then unlimited revisions.
What?
Yeah, that's what I paid for my first book.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, mine was 100.
No, mine was 900.
For unlimited within reason.
And that's what happened was every time, your first book is screwed up anyway.
Oh gosh, let's not even get into that train wreck.
I didn't even know what the hell I was doing.
Uh-huh.
And
no one does their first book. We try, we research,
right.
We do everything we think is right, and then like 2 years later, you're like, so past me, you suck.
The the horrible thing about it is that you end up getting aligned with people that you think are really good and they suck. and people that are going to rip you off and everything else. And that's where this one came from.
Yeah, thankfully I avoided most of that. I went through, hey, my friend uses this person and they did this really good job.
Mhm.
So I got really lucky knowing a lot of good people.
Yeah, I didn't have anybody. I just kind of did it on my own because I know what I'm doing. And then I got involved in some groups where it's like, oh shit. Okay. Let's redo all this, And that's where I, yeah,
Yeah.
stinking editors. I don't know how many editors I ran through, and it's just,
I have 2 really good editors. Happy with them.
yeah.
My poor editor that I use currently for By the Skies, she was running a tight timeline. She's like, hey, how about if you send me your first half of the book now so I can get a head start and you can send me the other half later? I'm like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. It's only 90,000 words, no big deal. By the time I got to the end, it was 99,000 words. And she's just like, your beta feedback, what happened? Normally you add in like 1,000 words. I'm like, they wanted a bonus scene and I gave it to them.
Oh.
So, surprise. Yeah, my beta had a lot of opinions in By the Skies, and they were all great and really valid and really useful. So I ended up applying way more beta feedback than normal.
Well, one of the things that happens is when you get that beta feedback and they're like, oh, I should have done this. And, you think they're readers and it's like, oh, you want that, huh? I can do that. Oh, yeah, I can do that. And then all of a sudden it's like, maybe I should call it quits. I don't know.
Usually it doesn't have that
done.
much. Half the time I call it quits, no big deal. This one, it's like, ooh, I like that idea. Or, you know what, you're right. I did not describe this place at all. I don't know how I missed that.
One of the things that I do is I put an interview at the end of my book with one of the characters. And it's just snarky, and I treat them like they're actors under contract. And so, there's a lot of, hey, you gonna pay me for this, or is this extra? I mean, is this in my contract? Just snooty,
Oh, that would be so hilarious. I love that idea.
And I sent a book out that I am currently rewriting because it's not good. But
that's relatable.
Yeah, I sent it out for what I thought was, basically maybe a beta read, but more of an alpha read,
Yeah.
Does this make sense to you or whatever? And I had to send it back to him, say, I want to know about the story because everybody, I've got 12 people in this little group. Everybody is pissed off that I don't have the interview. It's like, I write that at the end. You know that. I mean, I need the book to be done first. So I'm asking you, I give you guys all this free shit. All I want you to do is read the story and tell me about the plot. Well, what about can you give us an interview? Because we really want the interview. And it's like, okay.
That is wonderful.
I will write you an interview, but then you have to promise to read the book, and then they gave me the feedback on the book. It's like, shit, I wish I want to ask you to read that. I have to rewrite it. Anyway.
Oh, that's great. You're making me do this interview again?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Maybe
first one sucked so much you had to rewrite the book.
Well, I made this mistake of taking a weekend and just slamming out, and I got 2.5 books done. And then I finished the 3rd book, and then COVID happened. And I was like, up at 5 a.m, right, stop to eat, right. And I didn't have anybody around, which was a dream of mine. Just write all the time. Don't do anything. I don't even think I let the dogs out. It was just, I did. But, it was just, do. And I got so much done. And then COVID came around and some changes happened. And so I was like, cool, I have some extra time. So I'm going to go ahead and polish these things up and get them out. So I read through them and it's like, okay, this book has to be changed. Okay. And then I started, rewriting it. And then I actually killed off a character that's in book 5. Oh shit. But he has to die. He has to die. Okay. So now book 5 has to be rewritten.
Oh, that's great.
So then I rewrote book 5. And then this other project, book 6 or 6A or whatever you want to call it, that changes because again, you take characters and you do whatever. And I kind of learned my lesson not to do that all in one fell swoop and make sure you have a finished product before you start the next one and blah, 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 blah. So of course
theory.
Right. So then I have this other series that I'm working on, which is just novelettes, a bunch of novelettes I can throw out 9 weeks worth of releases, boom, 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 And so I've been switching on and off from the 3 books I'm working on in that. And guess what happens when you have too many projects? Nothing gets done. So now I've had to, now I started a podcast and playing around with, the writing thing and everything else. And now I've got a pile of about 2 foot of work to do just on books. I got a podcast. I got my business. I've got everything else going on. And it's just like, and I did it to myself.
But the podcast is so cool.
It is. It is. I love doing this and talking to everybody. But on the other hand, I'm nuts, but that's okay. I'm going to get through it. And like next year, I'm going to have like 14,000 releases. I'll be just like J E Mueller.
That's the dream come true. Let me tell you.
I tell you what, you're the mark of perfection here. You do release a lot of books, so that's pretty impressive.
My goal is minimum 2 a year. I really want to try and get up 4 a year, not including anthologies. So, but editing costs a pretty penny.
I was talking to Catherine Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know her?
I think so. I know of her at least.
Yeah, well,
there's so many awesome ones.
It's like 18,000 words a day.
Ugh, I can't do that many in a day.
And she writes for people and she does this and does that. I'm just like, oh, okay, how'd you do it? I just do it. And it's like, oh my, you are
I'm happy to get 2,000 a day on average. Just can't do everything with work. But, some days I get up to like 4,000 or 6,000.
Mm-hmm. Never
done 18 in a day. Never.
I can say that. No, that weekend, like I took a Friday off and all the way through Sunday night, but that was like Cannonball Run type stuff. I did have, I think I averaged 4 Red Bulls a day. I think. And I had a pack of 5-hour energy that I ran through, and it was just like, okay, which wasn't good, and it didn't result in anything printable, but I did do it.
You survived the chaos.
Yeah, I lived, and I had my kidneys and everything intact, so it was that's a good thing. But
yeah, you learned what didn't work for that book.
Right, all 3 of them, which was don't do that again. All righty. So all your fans and readers and everything else, do you have anything you want to say to them?
Ooh, that's tough.
I know it's tough. That's why I asked that question at the end, so you can go, ooh, what
else do I want to say?
You want to stop?
The Skies just released. People are still getting into that. We have this awesome anthology coming up. People need to get into that. More chaos to come.
More chaos to come. Awesome.
That was a good thing to end on a high note.
It really is,
We'll have more mayhem. It'll be fun. There'll be magic.
Just in case anybody thinks there's any organization to writing, or it's just all perfectly planned out and these releases just happen when, exactly as planned. Yeah, it never works like that.
Nope.
No. Then all of a sudden somebody throws an anthology in the mix and it's like, cool. No. And then you have to actually do the work, and it's just like, okay. Whatever.
Yeah, that was kind of fun though. I don't know how I accidentally ended up in that one, but
No,
it was awesome.
I read your story, to be honest, and I liked it.
Sweet.
I liked it. You know,
Fun,
again, I look at it like,
full
okay,
lava.
there's all these really great authors, and then I'm there too. But anyway, it's like, holy crap.
I feel like everyone who's talked about the anthology has said something to that accord. They're like, look at all these awesome authors and me.
Well, and that's, I think everybody thinks that way. And that's when you can tell you're with real authors, that they actually say shit like that. It's like, I mean, that humility or that imposter syndrome type thing that we talk about so much.
I just kind of snuck in there. Entry number 7.
Yeah, I don't think you quite snuck in there, but there's a reason you're in that anthology, and it'll be prevalent if anybody reads it.
Is it because everyone's hoping for popcorn?
It's because well, I did hear that you promised everybody a bag of popcorn for Christmas. So, get on.
I can totally get on that.
Yeah.
Will it fit in a Christmas card envelope?
It might. If you get
Just
the really
Christmas
small,
cards for everyone, slip that in there.
Get the small 1 ounce bags, and it should just right in there. Yep.
People will be like, what the heck is this? Open it up. Who gave me popcorn?
We're the only two that remember, I guess. I don't know, but
I don't know. I thought it was funny.
I thought it was too, but it it was really funny, because when we started the podcast out, just for everybody's backstory, I looked at you and I said, "Hey, we've met before. I know this." And me being not of sound mind at all, we I remembered where I saw her from, and she's a popcorn lady. It wouldn't give me any popcorn, but
it's true. It's me.
It's you. Yeah. Well, anyway. All righty. With that.
Hey, if you don't have some fun memories of people, what you gonna do? You got to enjoy life. Got to enjoy these Zoom calls.
My understanding, if you don't have fond memories of anybody, and you really don't enjoy life, you go into accounting.
That might be true. I'm not in accounting, so I must be enjoying it to some degree.
Yeah. Anyway, I rip on accountants all the time, but there's a reason for it. Anyway, this is the end of the show. So I'm just going to say
folks.
Goodbye, folks. This is Jeff Bacon with the DIY Writer Podcast. And I want to thank you for listening. And if you would please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also follow me on any one of the several podcast platforms that you can listen to, and for more maniacal and obviously some weird type of conversations, like with Miss Miller here. Just kidding. Someday,
hey, it was good times.
Someday she will give me a bag of popcorn, I'm sure. I'm not sure where she'll put it, but I'll get a bag of popcorn.
It'll be hilarious if I ever find your mailing address, just to send it anonymously.
Well, now I'll know. Anyway.
Hey, maybe not in 6 months.
You could probably wait 6 days and be like, who the hell? Anyway. Other than that, you know what? I hope everybody keeps their chin up and has a great day. All right. Bye-bye.
Please hit the subscribe button. I get a bonus for every subscriber, and I only need 1,506 more to become a full-time paid employee. Help me, please.